I was like, let me catch it. All right. Look how this art imitates, start to intimidate. Some limited to one way, one day always. One step, two ways, day late, dollar short. Guess you need an escort. Let me get the door, you ain't got a front for a chance. Yo, keep it in your pants, bro. You gotta drive slow, take a smoke break. Keep running, no brakes. You know what they say, don't bring it this way. We pay no mind, stepping out of line is prime with no tire boot. Sipping turpentine in the fire suit. Pimping for a dime, two prize, nigga shoot. Smoking marijuana, keep calm, and the right to bear arms, so a rifle within arms. Listen to my granny on the phone when I'm missing home. Trying to be grown and she put me on, so I write it down and make it known.
What up, though? This is Boog Brown, we in Detroit, Michigan, hometown, and this is Theorematic.
Not that reenactment. The dude hold jewels like a scandalous Jew. Pay dues like a Christian, the panelists who gave rugged serenades, in fact, Black Sinatra.
Hip-hop for me was like a fun little hobby that you do when you go to Northern Lights and you get drunk and you hang out with friends that are writers and like wordsmiths and shit. So in college, we was all we were all writing crunch times, like 15 minutes, take a topic, boom, knock out a poem, knock out some prose, or knock out a little story, whatever topic related, and then spit it. Like whatever it was, however it was. And those turned into freestyle sessions. Them turned into freestyle sessions with the Never Empty crew. And from there, it was like, well, I know all these people, so next time I'm in a cypher, maybe I'll jump in. Drunk me, jumping in, cursing, all to be damned. I still never got my freestyle down, but I ain't never scared, you know what I'm saying? So that's how it started. And then it was like, oh, well, you can actually make a career out of this. Okay, you gonna do this or no? And so I decided, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. In 2007, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put some real thought into it.
Yo, let me holler at you real quick. Yo, hey, why you over here talking but grilling since I walked in? I ain't got a problem, but we not friends. You
like that was a part of the journey, right? So in 2007, I moved to Atlanta. I had been a graduate from Eastern Michigan University for 3 years at that point. And, you know, me and my homegirls was like, yo, you want to go to Atlanta? Day after my homegirl Crystal's graduation, we just packed up a van, packed up a car or two, and rolled out. You know what I mean? And so we did that, and it was like, that's where I made the decision. When I was in Atlanta, I had been there for a couple months. I had met, all I was meeting was MCs and producers. Like, I wasn't saying I was like, I was some rapper or anything like that. If it came up, then yeah, it came up. But I was just meeting them like clockwork, you know what I'm saying? Like clockwork. And so it was like, you know, L, is you gonna do this or you not gonna do this? I had met Illustrate, dopest producer in Atlanta, I was told from my homeboy Akir. And he was like, you know, you want to meet the illest producer in Atlanta? I was like, yeah. So I met Illustrate, and from there, you know, he taught me how to control my breath on the microphone, let me explore and experience to understand what my voice sounded like and how I wanted to sound. And he told me when I was whack, or when something was whack, or not, maybe not whack, but not up to par, or, you know, like, you can edit this better, you can do this better. He pushed and challenged me like real producers do, like artist development style. And so that right there in 2007, I want to say that was like September, October, somewhere. You know, I don't really keep track of dates like that. But that's when I decided, and that's when I started to do it. Like, it wasn't like I moved out there like, yeah, I'm gonna be a rap star. It was like, Atlanta's the land of milk and honey. It's the Mecca. So I'm told I can go down here and get a job. That's really all I was doing, like trying to see something different. I've been in Detroit my whole life. So it was like, you know, I'm 25 years old. Let me go explore the world.
Back up off me, tell them. Yo, hey, don't be stuck on stupid. Look now, I'm telling you, I've been a fool there.
Listening to rappers, Nas, Prodigy. These was my favorites. Andre, Big Boy, you know, Biggie, Das, Corrupt, Snoop. You know what I'm saying? Like listening to MCs and like seeing how I could stylize myself. You know, Miss Corona got a style of her own, Invincible got a style of their own. And so it's like, you hear all these things, you know, I'm listening to people who are phenomenal and carrying like Detroit hip hop, and then I see them, and like, these are people that are right here standing next to me. So I have the privilege to sometimes hear exclusive mixes and things that'll never come out and will never see the light of day, or may see the light of day but haven't as yet, you know what I mean? Like, being in those environments, it was like, you know, I had such a plethora of material to grow from, to choose from, to like, I was noshing on like the best, you know what I mean? The best shit. Like, everything was pristine and fine and grand. You know, you listening to mixes of Rock's album before it comes out, and you like, dang, this motherfucker's cold. You know what I mean? At my age, I'm 25. I'm just freestyling at this point. I'm not even knowing how to structure a song until Invincible came and was like, yo, start like beginning, middle, end. Like, just bust it down. Like, just bust it down like that. So I had all these brilliant minds giving me all this information. So I was able to take what I needed from everywhere I could and just like make what I felt like was serving me in my art at that time. And I did that. You know, I did that a lot, maybe sometimes to a fault, where it was like too much of someone else's style, or and not enough Elsie, or not enough Boog, you know what I'm saying? So I had to grow up just like everybody does, and everybody needs to grow in their art. And so I'm super grateful though to have the kind of start that I had, you know. Not a lot of people can say they, you know, shoulder to shoulder in a freestyle cypher, like rapping with Elzai. I mean, albeit poorly, but like still, I'm like shoulder to shoulder. I'm like, oh my God, it's Elzai, it's Quelle, it's, you know what I mean? All these people that were in Detroit at that time when I was really like formulating my rap skills. These were my rap coaches. It was cool. It was real cool. And then you get down to Atlanta and you got B. Price, and you got Quam Scott, or Great Scott, and you got Ekundayo and Star, and, you know, Rock. So I'm still sharpening steel, like, with everywhere I go. It's you know, I couldn't lose.
Take a deep breath, cause what comes next is the highest of the depths, and the lowest of the highs, and the loneliest of nights, and the brightest of the lights.
Catalog starts with Grind Season from 2009. That has the joint Dope Girl Magic, which was initially just gonna be like kind of a show song. It wasn't gonna be anything other like a standalone single or anything. I made it because I was like, yo, call and response seems to, you know, engage the audience way more. I know when I'm at a concert, you know, if I'm feeling it, I'll call and respond with the artist. So I wrote that song like, yeah, let me go ahead and write this, because I needed a challenge. You know, I was writing in a particular way. I was still filling out my style. So Grind Season in 2009, and then 2010, that's when we linked up with Mellow Music Group and Apollo and did Brown Study. And then we did The Late Bloom, and then Sundown is on the way. Yeah, like it's been a process. I take a lot of time between projects because there's no need to rush it, for me at least. And then I get highly critical of myself and count it out and let it sit on the computer for months and months and months and months and months. I know this is not a story that's, you know, unknown to most artists. From what I can see, from what I can tell. So.
And see, it's a facade that's just good at its job, only real if you want, and mediocre, so easy, it just ought to be properly approached and rejected for the
Sundown,
sake
which is
of
the part 2 to Sun Up. I guess maybe not a part 2, but like maybe a conclusion to a chapter, maybe a conclusion to a story or a character. And that should be out sometime soon. Like I said, I've been sitting on it. Like, I've been just listening to it in my computer over and over. It's done. It's done. It just needs, you know, artwork. And so technically it's not done. It's not complete, but the music is complete. Yeah. But of course, I'm going to be like overthinking it because I'm like, I needed to feel and sound a certain way. And then it's the killer part about that shit is that every fucking time I do that, I just end up stripping away the essence of what it was that made it dope in the first place. So I always end up going back to the original. No matter what, I could mispronounce a whole gang of shit. But if it has that feel, that sauce, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't wipe that off. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep that because that's what makes it you. That's what, for me anyway. I don't know what, other people do what they want. But like for me, I want to keep the sauce because you're supposed to have the sauce. You know what I mean? You're supposed to have the juice. So. I mean, we'll call it 10 years, right? Okay. Since it's 2018. Okay. And any study that you're into generally takes about 10 to 20 years for mastery. You don't just jump into being a doctor and become the greatest neurosurgeon that ever lived just straight up in 5 years. Maybe you can, maybe you do, maybe you're a prodigy, and that's great. That's not me, right? So in these 10 years, I've learned more about myself and how I want to craft my art and where I will take those L's, quote unquote, or where I know where there's a currency exchange as opposed to a currency exchange. What's the value in it? The importance of how I present my work, the importance of how I present myself. Like, I couldn't do that 7 years ago when I put out Brown Steady. 8 years ago when that came out, I wasn't the same woman. So it's like now thinking of it at this point, it's like I could not have had what I will have and what I have now back then. I ain't worried about none of that. So the pinnacle of my success is it's gonna be the ability to tour 3 to 6 months out the year and to make sure all my folks is taken care of. You know what I mean? I want to connect the dots. I want to be the bridge. I want to, you know what I mean? Like if I know that Phyllis Iller in Atlanta is a dope photographer and she'll be in Detroit, somebody that's looking for a session, or since Corona shoot now for Triggerfinger, like it's now I can link them two together and they can study together. My homegirl Asia opened up a gallery. They want us to do a show. Boom, there you go. You know what I'm saying? It's to connect the dots and build and understand when the currency is more important than the money. You know what I'm saying? It's making sure that we all are thriving. I don't have to, if I'm thriving and you not thriving, that means you looking at my plate and you best believe you can't have none. Like, don't fuck with my food, don't fuck with my bread. Like, just, it's making sure that everybody around me is on the same vibe, same energy, and we can all live, we can all build. Everybody kids is taken care of, everybody mama good, everybody daddy straight, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's success for me. That's making sure I got 4 sisters, 2 nephews and a niece, and my dad, and my grandma and my nana, you know what I mean? My immediate family, and then branching out from there. Just as long as they're good, I'm good, you know? And I make too great an art to compromise anywhere else, anywhere outside, to be working for somebody else when I can put that amount of energy in for myself. 50, 60, 70 hours a week at work and not putting 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 hours towards Boog Brown. Nah, I don't want that anymore. Like, I'm willing to work right now so I can do that later. And so I'm all right with that. I'm on my way. I'm straight.